Moving on to topic 2. Topic 2 is a little reflection into my past. So, obviously, the world is in chaos now with pandemic, so everything's shut down. It's starting to open back up. We'll see how well that it goes. But your boy's been watching a lot of YouTube. Not that that's any different from any other day or any other time, but I've been watching a YouTuber by the name of Tim Tracker a lot recently. And Tim and his wife Jen are in Florida, and they go to Disney World a lot and do vlogs from there. Whether it's new rides that are opening, doing tours, or just POVs on the rides, or the special events going on. And they go to other parks too. They go to Universal, they go to Busch Gardens, they go to California Disneyland. Tim Tracker? Yeah, that guy. So they're going all over the place. So I've been just having his content on, either actively watching or just having it on in the background and listening while playing games or just doing my own thing. And the reason I'm doing this as well as the pandemic, I'm getting hyped up. I'm getting psyched for a potential Disney trip come October 2021. I have a cousin that's getting married in North Carolina, and most of the family, or some of the family rather, is thinking, hey, when in Rome, even though it's a couple states away, but we're right there. Why not just take a few extra steps down this way and this path and go have a grand old time? So I wanted to talk about my top 10 Disney World rides. Now, these are my favorite rides in Disney World. Couple exceptions, or addendums, or rules, or whatever the fuck. This is Disney World specific. Have I been to Disneyland? Yes. Have I been to any of the out-of-states Disney World's lands? No. Is that on my bucket list? Kinda is now, not gonna lie. So Disney World specific. Second, I have not been to Disney World since, oh boy, 2015, 2016. 2015. Yes, because this was right before I moved to California. 2015. I have not been to Disney World since 2015. So, Disney World has added a lot of expansions since then. They have added Avatar in Animal Kingdom. They have added Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios. They have added the Star Wars Land, also in Hollywood Studios. They've added now Runaway Railway, also in Hollywood Studios. Damn, Hollywood Studios getting a lot of shit. They have added the Frozen ride in Epcot. What else did they do? They probably added something else that I can't think of. So there's some things in here that are not going to make the list. For example, Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance opened this past summer. I'm sure that's going to jump right up there on that top 10 list. Watched POVs on it. Looks fucking amazing. I think it's going to be one of those things, once I ride it, even though I've seen everything, it's going to be a life-changing experience. So, not making the list. Also, once again, this is specifically World we're talking about. So no Disneyland stuff. I'm not going to be talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Tower of Terror. Not going to be talking about Cars Land Cars ride that I don't remember the name of. Not going to be talking about Paradise Pier roller coaster, or Incredicoaster as it is now. Not talking about that. Been there 3 times. Good times. All one-day trips, so really didn't get to explore everything. Good times. But no. Just sticking to the World, the Florida, the Mecca. So, top 10 Disney rides for you boy. Starting at number 10. This one's an interesting one because it's a throwback. This ride is no longer in Disney World, so already I'm kind of poking at my rules and be like, haha, wait a minute. It's still active in California. Number 10, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. It's a dark ride. A dark ride, for those of you guys who don't know, is a storybook ride. So pretty much it just takes you through the events of the movie in ride form, essentially. Now, I know some people watching right now, mom and dad, are probably like, what? Why? What? Mr. Toad's Wild Ride? Why is that one on your top 10 list? I will tell you, this is the reason why. because the first Disney trip I ever went on, I was 5 years old. 5. Long time ago. I don't know why, but I remember this ride super well from that trip. And the big memory I have from it is at one point you're riding in the vehicle. It's zipping and zooping and going all through Mr. Toad's wild ride through the town, crashing into things. And at one point, your little buggy is about to get hit by a train. I remember this so well as a kid. The light is coming over like it's the top of the subway or train, and you just run into it and explosions. And as I learn now in current day, you die. I didn't remember that from a kid, but I don't know why, but that ride stuck with me. And it stuck with me so well, I couldn't remember what ride it was for the longest time, but I could always remember that train scene. Like, oh man, I remember what was that? And Disney World got rid of it, or replaced it rather, with Winnie the Pooh ride. When I went to Disneyland when I was living in California, I realized they had this ride, and I rode it, and I was like, oh my god, it's all coming back. Like, this was the ride that just had this moment. Winnie the Pooh ride is a banger. It is. And so yeah, they no longer have Mr. Toad in Florida. They do have a little homage in the Winnie the Pooh ride. Over on the side, you will see Owl and Mr. Toad shaking hands and handing over the deed, which is a nice touch. But yeah, it's still over in California, and it's just as I remember. It's the same exact thing. But I was like, man, this is awesome. Just having that revisit of like my first trip to Disney. Like, holy shit. So yeah, Mr. Toad it's a curveball. Like, why is that on your top 10? It's not even that great of a ride. It's a fun one, but like I think it's important, and it's on the top 10 just because it has that memory in my head. Like, it is right there, engraved in my Disney experience. So that's number 10. Moving on to number 9. On number 9, we have Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, I think this is similar in the Mr. Toad's in that it has a strong memory that goes along with it, and that's why it's on this top 10. Great ride, no doubt. Definitely more thrill than Mr. Toad's, depending. Pirates of the Caribbean is on my top 10. There's like one thrilling moment in this ride, one drop, then the rest you're just in the boat and watching animatronics be pirates, and that's it. Not even that exciting, but the reason for this that it's on my list, once again, strong memories of this ride. I think it was the same trip when I was 5 we went on here. And when the drop happens, you're in complete darkness. So you're leading up to a tunnel, it's pitch black, and you're just like, oh, okay, what's going on? And as a kid, you have no idea or expectations set ahead of you. You're just on this ride because, you know, you got taken on it and dragged on it. And then you fall, and you feel like you fall forever. Lady in Wonderland will know this experience because she thought we were going 100 miles an hour on the Mummy ride in Universal because it was pitch black. But I had that experience where I thought we were falling 90 degrees straight down, and we were falling forever. We were just going, and then all of a sudden the boat went whoosh, and then we were in this animatronic land with pirates singing. So that was the first memory of that, and that was the OG layout, or overlay, I guess you could say it. The other memory that's so strong with Pirates of the Caribbean, I believe, came, I don't think it was the second trip, it might have been the third trip, but they were refurbishing or changing the ride to kind of update it with some of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie material. So around the time we were going that summer, they were working on it, and the opening was coming up, and we were excited for it. You know, it was a ride we already liked, and now it's going to be new and fresh, so we'll get a little bit new experience from it. So we were staying on Disney property. We were on one of the buses going to the park, Magic Kingdom, and one other guest was talking about it and saying, oh, it was great. And we're confused because it was supposed to open the next day or maybe 2 days from then. So we asked, and she's like, oh yeah, they soft opened. Like, they were letting people on the ride before opening day. And we're like, you're kidding. So we went and we rode it. Like, no line, because, you know, they weren't going to advertise that, but it was just open. And it was so cool. Like I said, they added elements from the movie into it. They still had, you know, it was the same exact track. You had the big drop. You had the riding through the village with the pirates and everything. But things were updated. You could see a waterfall you would pass through. It was like a mist waterfall with a projection of Davy Jones. You would go down and they added like Jack Sparrows just throughout the ride. And that animatronic was nuts. I'm sure now it looks dated as shit. But seeing that for the first time, I was like, whoa, that's crazy, especially compared to all the other ones. You're like, yeah. So they added that. They added Barbossa attacking Port Royal in his ship. And it was just a really cool experience. As I mentioned, it was supposed to officially launch a day or two after. And we went back on opening day just to see how it was. Holy shit, that line was so long. And we were just like, glad we rode that during, like, got that little tip to ride it a couple days ago. Just, whew, good times. So yes, Pirates of the Caribbean. Number 9 on the list. Number 8 is Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain's another great one. And Splash Mountain's also a tale of two stories, depending on where you ride it. I keep bringing up Disneyland, even though it's Disney World top list. Disney World, blast. Disneyland, blast. Disney World, are you going to get a little wet? Probably. Yes. Disneyland, are you going to get wet? You're damn right you're going to get wet, and you're going to get drenched. Not good if you're flying solo and you have no expectation of that. Man, that was a questionable rest of the day. Thank God California's hot and everything dried up real quick. But yeah, it's a great ride. It's pretty much identical in each land, world, place, locale, location. But it's a good time. 3-4 drops in total. Couple memories attached to this one too, similar to Pirates. Thinking that 90-degree drop as a kid, oh yeah, that felt real fast and real steep, and I was scared shitless going on to that ride. So terrified because I knew what was coming in this one. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then later on, when Charlie and I went with my parents, we rode it so many times that we got the frickin' song stuck in our head. And every once in a while, just we just start singing along and have the tune going. Oh, just infectious. Just a good time. Just a good time. Like I said, if you're going to Disneyland and you're riding that, you better be prepared to get trashed. Speaking of water, moving on to number 7, Kali River Rapids. Oh, this one is a fun ass time, especially if you have a good group in your boat, like you bring a lot of people or you just have an energetic group. Man, those river rapids, fire. Everybody's trying to move the boat, not get, blasted with water. It's Florida, it's already hot enough, but they blast fire right next to you before a big ass drop to make you sweat. So the water's gonna be like, so good afterwards. But props to my parents. They got a 10 out of 10 plan for this. You go to Animal Kingdom, you go bright and early. You go right to the safari, the Kilimanjaro safari. You sit, go in a little Humvee, buggy, truck thingy. Chill, have a good time, see a lot of animals, see a lot of wildlife, get a Disney story where you gotta save some elefantes who are, animatronic, but whatever. The thing's like 20, 30 minutes long, and you're out in Florida where it's hot as hell in the sun, barely any coverage. You get hot. You sweat. Maybe you stink a little bit. Right after that, I don't know. Safari's only 30 minutes. I don't know. I'm just saying numbers. It could be longer than that. It's a while. You're sitting there. All right? You go on the safari. As soon as you get done with the safari, you go right over the river rapids and you get soaked. So refreshing. Now, back in the day, Animal Kingdom that was all we had. Animal Kingdom was like the lowest of the low of the 4 parks that Disney had to offer. Now it's a lot better. They've added stuff, and maybe we'll be talking about some of that stuff later. But there was more appealing attractions to older people, thrill rides, or just people wanted to look at things and go, ooh, look at that. Yeah. Culture. But during that time, that was all we did. We just did that in the morning, and then whoop, we went to Magic Kingdom or somewhere else for the rest of the day. 10 out of 10 plan. The plan gets even better when your safari breaks down and you're stuck out there in the wild. I don't know if we broke down or somebody else broke down and we were stuck, but we were stuck in the safari. We were stuck for a while. Now, because we were stuck, we got more sun on us, which means more warmth, more sweat, more stank. We're sitting there. They fixed it. Figured it all out. We finally get off. Everybody's running. Getting off that thing. Guess what? Going to the river rapids. They're rushing. We're not rushing. Get off. Whatever. It sucks. Ha ha ha. Good times. There's Disney people, cast members, waiting there, apologizing. I'm sorry you got stuck. Hopefully you're okay. Is there anything we could do? Think it was Mom. Mom, using her big brain, jokingly said, haha, wish we could have some fast passes for the river rapids. Cast member goes, you know what? That's a great idea. And gives us fast passes to the river rapids. If you don't know what a fast pass is, it's pretty much you get into a really quick line. You go on that ride without waiting 2 hours or etc. Hell yeah. So we just got those. Go over there. Whoosh. Awesome. Great time. But like I said, it's a blast, especially if you have a really good group in your boat. There is a water rapids in California, but I haven't been on that one. But this one, top tier. Number 6 on the list is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. All right, probably mentioned it somewhere. I'm terrible at roller coasters and the like. This is a roller coaster. Disney doesn't have a lot of roller coasters. They've kind of expanded and they're getting more and more. The thing about Disney roller coasters, if you are honestly interested, not that bad, to be honest. Like, there's no flips. Kind of. There's one I'll talk about later. No corkscrews, nothing. It's just up, down, twist. You're good. But they're decent, you know? Still a good time. You're still going to have fun. And Big Thunder Mountain is definitely one of those. It's a blast. It's a good time. It's exciting. It's always got a line. It's got great scenery. It's got the best line in pre-taped ride, whatever you want to call it, audio. If you got hats and glasses, best to remove them. You better do that. Thank you, Tim Tracker. I'm just going to steal everything. But it's a grand old time. A great time. And I can't recommend Big Thunder enough. I'm sad Lady didn't get a chance to go on it when we were in California, but when we're in Florida, she'll definitely get on there, and it'll be a blast. I will say Disneyland does have a slightly better one than Florida because they have the TNT scene where everything goes bing, bang, boom, blows up. Florida, I don't think, has that. It's a rip. But it's a good time. Good time. Choo-choo. Didn't really talk too much about that one, but that's definitely number 6. It speaks for itself. Test Track is number 5. Number 5 on the list, Test Track. Test Track was another new one that we got. Another new one we experienced. I think this was the second trip we went to Disney. But Test Track was brand spanking new. And essentially, Test Track, original Test Track, which I think is my favorite version, The new version's fine. I'll get into that. The original version was a test track, and you were test dummies. So you were sitting in a car that was going through a test course. You would go through a heat check, temperature check. You'd go through bumpy roads. You go through speed tests, brake tests, different aspects like that. And you're literally in the dark going through these different rooms. Like I said, the temperature, so you get blasted with heat, then you get blasted with cold. You got the brake check, so you go real fast, and then you put the brakes, and they would randomize it, so either your brakes worked and you kind of coasted around a corner, or you like lose control and go wah and like do a wide turn. Bumpy roads, you would go through that, and it was a fun experience. There was 2 other parts to this ride that were a lot of fun. So there was one point where I think you were doing another speed test or something, but you were going fast, and you're in the dark, mind you. You're going, and all of a sudden, wah, there was a big fucking semi-truck just wah, coming at you. Scared the shit out of you. And you round the corner and barely evade it. So there's that. And then as you're done rounding that corner calmly and safely, like, thank God I'm alive, you come into an actual, like, testing room where you got, like, crash test area. Picture that. And there's a big wall in front of you, and you brake, and you stop, and you hear, okay, we're going for the crash test, on 3, 2, and you gun it at this wall. You gun it at this wall, and you're like, oh fuck. At the last second, the wall opens up, and you're going 60 miles an hour, going whee, just around this, like, bank turn so fast. It's so awesome. So, OG ride was great. New rendition of the ride, you're going 100 miles. New rendition of the ride, pretty much the same thing, except it's all futuristic and stuff. So you don't have the crash test scene. You still have some of the tests, but they kind of changed it where you like design a car in the queue, and then you're testing out your different aspects of your queue, like how aerodynamic is it, how fuel efficient is it, how like blah blah blah. So all the inside, they kind of futurized it, and like everything's got like neon lights and shit. Still got the big semi, but now it's like a Tron semi, and it's got the shit. Like I said, you don't have the crash test thing. You still do go and do that bank of 60 to 100 miles an hour going around. So it's still fun. It's still a fun ride. It's just not, it's not the same. It, like, I don't know. I just, like, that's another memory that's just infused with Disney experiences, because, you know, I'm not going to experience it again, unfortunately, because they updated it. But, you know, good time. Test track number 5. Number 4 for the list, not really a ride, but more of a game. Midway Mania. Toy Story Midway Mania, now located in the Toy Story Land. But it used to be just in Hollywood Studios, MGM, whatever you want to call it. Excuse me. So much fun. So much fun. You do have Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters, that's what it is, in Magic Kingdom, where it's just laser gun, pew, 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 and you're shooting at targets, and it's great, but sometimes you don't know where you're shooting. You're just like, am I hitting things? I don't know. Midway Mania, they updated it, so it's just screens, 3D glasses you put on, and you're traveling from screen to screen, playing like a quick minute mini game. Bah, 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 like 10 of them. And you have your gun in front of you, and it's a pulley. So you pull the thing, and it shoots, and you can see. You're shooting darts at balloons. You're shooting rings at, like, ring toss. You're, I don't know, whatever, different mini games, and it's just so much fun, because like you're never there long, like super long, to get bored. It's just quick. It is WarioWare-esque, yes. And the cool thing about this is it was so popular that they made a version on the Nintendo Wii, so you could just play this game at home and practice and get good if you wanted to. But yeah, that line is always insanely long, and rightly so, because it's just a blast of a ride, game experience, whatever you want to call it. Highly recommend it, and especially if you got somebody next to you who's highly competitive or just having a good time. Oh yeah. Number 3 is Hyperspace Mountain. Now, you're going, Bret, what's Hyperspace Mountain? I've heard of the Space Mountain thing. What's Hyperspace Mountain? Well, Hyperspace Mountain, I believe, is in California. Sucks. I hate you. But I'm not talking about the California one. I'm sure it's the same thing. But we had it in Disney World for a small, itty bitty, limited time. There was just an overlay of Space Mountain. Same exact Space Mountain roller coaster. It's in the dark. You go up, you go down, you go side, no flips, no nothing. Fast pace. Good times. Great. We went, I think it was this last trip. They had some kind of Star Wars celebration going on, so they had this overlay of Star Wars on Space Mountain, making it Hyperspace Mountain. No longer there anymore. Sad face. But like I said, same coaster and everything, but they changed it to have Star Wars. So you would go through the tunnel originally and you were traveling through hyperspace, and then as you exit the tunnel and exit hyperspace, you're in this big battle and you're just trapped in there. So you're zooming around and there's blaster bullets flying past you in green. You're going down, you're almost crashing into TIE fighters. You're passing TIE fighters and TIE bombers and X-wings, and the spaceships are crashing around you as you're going through this roller coaster, and it was so fucking cool. And I wish they didn't get rid of it, because god damn, it was cool. TJ and I rode that thing so many times when we get the extra hours when it was late night. Man, good times. Space Mountain's great, don't get me wrong. Space Mountain's great by itself, but man, the hyperspace version, if you get a chance to watch it, definitely recommend it. Wow, man, we are rocking and rolling through this list. Speaking of, Rock and Roller Coaster is number 2 on this list. Now, this is where the roller coasters get a little bit more intense. So, this one has a flip. This one has 1 or 2 corkscrews. I have to figure out the logistics so Lady can go on it. What a transition. Thank you. Rock and Roller Coaster is amazing. I'm just going to say that flat out. You like Aerosmith? Great. You don't like Aerosmith? Suck it up. Go on this ride. So you go on this coaster. You get in a limousine, stretch limo, coaster car. You sit in it. You load up. You go around a corner. You wait. You sit there. You just wait in anticipation. You see a big, dark, long tunnel in front of you. And you're like, okay, interesting. If you watch the pre-show, you know you're trying to make it to the concert. And you only have like so many minutes, but you got to get through LA traffic, which sucks. So you're waiting. And all of a sudden you hear the lead singer of Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, right? Oh, God. You hear him come on the loudspeaker. He's like, we got to make it. And he's like, he counts you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, 0 to 60, 2.5 seconds. You're going, wah, straight down this long tunnel. Photo taken. You're looking ugly because you're going so fast. Right into that loop, you're going backwards. And then you're just gunning through this coaster, having a grand old time. Listen to Aerosmith and good songs. You got corkscrews. You got flip. You got random LA and California shit passing you. Such a good ride. Such a good ride. Well worth the wait. So good. And that's when I die. But you died having fun. If you like roller coasters, I highly recommend this one. And like I said, this is like, it's the only roller coaster that has a flip. It's the only roller coaster that has a corkscrew in Disney World. Disneyland does have Paradise Pier where they have the flip. So good. If you're a thrill seeker, go on it. Is it going to be the best coaster ever? No. Is it going to be a grand fucking time? Yes. Yes. That leads us to number 1. Number 1 ride for me at Disney World, and I can't stop thinking about it because it's so cool, is Everest in Animal Kingdom. Another roller coaster. Shocker. Everest is my top ride. I'll give you a reason why Everest is my top ride. When you can't stop thinking about how cool the ending of the ride is, it's something special. I remember it wasn't my last trip. I think it was the trip before, the second to last trip. You're staying at the hotel. You got the TVs on. There's the channels that are like just pumping Disney rides and giving you ideas and blah, blah, blah. It's on loop, you know. Every time the Everest ad came on and I saw that Yeti animatronic, I was getting so fucking excited. Let's fucking go. Such a good ride. The story of the ride is great. You're going up in the mountains, the Himalayas in your little train, and you're just like, oh, we're going to have a great time. And then you get to a place and the tracks are torn up. And you're like, well, that sucks. So I guess we're not going on this ride. And then you go backwards. And you're going backwards through these tunnels, all in the dark. And then you see, oh no, a shadow of a Yeti ripping up more tracks. Don't do that, Mr. Yeti. That's no fun. And then you go forward, and then you go drop, and then you're zipping and zooming. You only see the Yeti 3 times. If you're counting that little video projection, one-time video projection. I'm pretty sure there's one time he reaches down at the ceiling. Maybe I'm just making that up. I don't know. And then you see him at the end, and he's huge. He's big. He's hairy. And he's mean. And he's roaring, and you're zipping by, and he tries to grab you, and he's like, rah! And there's flashy lights, so you don't even see him all that well, like all of them, so it doesn't look jank. It looks intimidating. Man, so good. So good. Makes Animal Kingdom worth going to. There's other rides now that makes it worth going to, but, you know. Damn it. So good. So good. So, yeah. The fucking, if you get the chance to go to Disneyland World, Disney World, I would say go on these rides. Mr. Toad, can you go on it? No. If you're in Disneyland, go on it. Have fun. Can you go on the OG test track? No. Can you go on Hyperspace Mountain in Florida? No. But go on the rides anyway. They're fun. If you're not into thrill rides, at least watch them. There's so many YouTube POVs. You can just check that out and live vicariously through somebody else. Experience it without panicking and dying yourself. So good. And it just makes me more excited for the Disney trip coming up. Hopefully everything's fine by then. Because, yeah, obviously I want to ride all these rides. And then I get the new stuff, you know? The new stuff I haven't even seen. Like, we get Toy Story Land. Yeah, you got Midway Mania. You got a Kid Coaster Slinky Dog. Excited to ride that. You got Avatar Land and Animal Kingdom now. I'm going to ride the fucking Flight of Passage where you're riding on the dang it, the dragon thingy. You got Star Wars, Rise of the Resistance, like I said. That's probably going to jump immediately on my top 10 list. You got the Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run. Rode that in California. That's a great time, too. Not in top 10, but still, good ride. We got the brand spanking new one, Runaway Railway with Mickey Mouse and Minnie. That looks cute as hell and fun. We're going to have Ratatouille Remy's Adventure. They're making the Tokyo Tron coaster there in Tomorrowland. That might be open by the time we go. So many things to do. I need all the time in the world to ride these rides and ride them a lot. Because it's been a while. Since I've been home my head. Sorry. So yeah, I just love Disney World. I've been loving watching these videos. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Jackson, for making these videos. It's very different not seeing you guys go all the time, obviously with stuff going on. But thank you for those. It gets me hyped. I want to go on the trip. I want to plan the trip. I want to have a good time. Yeah. Thank you for letting me vent about Disney World. Top 10 rides. All time.